When I read the script at home, I was alone in Barcelona when I got it. I was shit scared, and I couldn't finish it. I had to stop after 60 pages because I heard some strange noises on the roof. And I thought, this is a good indication. This is, I think this is going to be a good movie. This is going to work. Especially knowing that Juan Carlos Fresnadillo is going to make it. He's going to give it the right suspense, the right atmosphere. That such a psychological driven movie needs. My character is Padre Antonio. He's a young priest working in a working class neighborhood in Madrid. A very enthusiastic, vital priest whose major goal is, I think, to be able to help the people. He's a very social man. And then his strong belief that he has in God and Jesus Christ comes to a limit, and he doesn't know what to do when he meets Luisa, because she confronts him with a very strange things that happen to her and to her son, who is haunted by nightmares. Eventually, at the end of the movie, in his last scene, this young priest is quite confused, and I think he's questioning himself and also raising some questions to God and Jesus Christ. I was very lucky to meet a young priest who is very open to tell me everything I needed to know. And I went to mass with him. He introduced me to other religious people. He told me how he came in touch with God, how he became a priest, and what his intentions are. So in some parts, I try to think of him portraying this character of Padre Antonio. I love the genre. I was very eager to make a thriller or horror movie. Then I'm a huge fan of Fresnadillo's work. I loved 28 Weeks Later, and then after that I saw Intacto, two movies that I find very, very impressive. He makes an actor feel very comfortable. He allows changes. He wants to see scenes in different ways. So he's not stubborn. He doesn't stick to just one version. He has a very good eye, I think, because as making such a movie, you do not only have to care about the acting, but also about the whole atmosphere of the movie, the whole timing. You have to. I think it's such a technical thing to make a good suspense and thriller movie that you have to have a lot of things in mind. And also visually, you always have to have in mind if there has to be a shadow in the background, if there has to be something, a special light on the face. There are a lot of things so it's not just only caring about the actors, but caring about the whole movie the whole time. It must be very stressful.
I think it's quite hard to describe because it's unlike anything that I've ever been part of, really, because it's such a strange movie. It's kind of real, and it's spooky, and it's a psychological horror, but it works on a sort of number of levels, really. And there's a sort of element of sort of mystery and fantasy to it, but it's also rooted in very real psychological. It's grounded, so I think it's quite an original movie. It's nearly always the same as a script, really. You get sent a script, and I was sent this script, and I really loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was very well written. I thought it worked on a number of levels. I found it sort of disturbing and strange and pretty unique, really. So, no, I was excited by it. I found it very intriguing and scary the first time I read it. I was like, wow, where is this going? From the minute it starts, there's something unnerving about it. And very cinematic, you know. I think it plays in it really lends itself to, you know, it's a very visual script. When you read the script, you feel that you can sort of see it. So I think it'll be a very original movie. I wasn't at all, no. I hadn't seen this film, so obviously the first thing I did is went out and get Intacto, and 28 weeks later, and I genuinely love them both. So once I'd seen those films, I was very excited about meeting him and talking to him and doing this film, because I think they're both seriously good films, and he's a very seriously good film director. Basically, I play the father of Mia, who is being disturbed by something, and then it appears that there actually is somebody sort of stalking her and appearing in her bedroom, and it all gets very scary and very unnerving, and John gets sort of very rattled by it, really. But the film kind of unravels, and you begin to reveal things about him and his past that relate to what's going on, really. From the first time that I sat in a room and worked with her, with Juan Carlos, I could tell that she was, you know, a very serious actress. So we did rehearse, and we've talked about it, and we've spent time together, you know, as you would, and I think she's very special. We certainly had rehearsal time, and I read with Ella right from the beginning, and was really impressed with her. I was very excited by her. I think she's a really fine young actress, and she's very mature. It's not really like working with a child, really, because she's very smart and very natural and very real. And so I almost treat working with her like I would the same with anybody else. There's no special compensation needed because she's so young, because she's kind of ahead of her years, really. I think childhood fears are much more intense than adults in a way, because we're that much younger. I think that children have very vivid imaginations, and it's much more real. As we get older, we begin to discern what's fantasy and what isn't, and we know that a bad dream is exactly that. It's a bad dream. We ask questions about why we're dreaming about it and why we're having those thoughts, but we know what it is. But I think for children, it's a much harder thing to separate that, and that it's all much more bled into their real lives, because for them it is real, because they haven't yet learned to differentiate what is freaking them out from, you know, what is real about it and what isn't. I know, because I've got two girls, and I've seen this with them. I've seen them have nightmares. I've seen them get disturbed and fearful of things, and it's kind of out of proportion. But to them, it is in proportion. It's very real. It's you know, it's as extreme as they feel it. You know, however real or not it is irrelevant if they're feeling it that strongly. So, you know, I think this film's very much about that kind of, you know, intense feeling of your fears. The theme of this movie, to a certain extent, is the way we pass on as parents our fears onto our kids. I also think there is an element that, you know, you kind of, you know, you bring your own fears as well. It's a kind of, you know, but I do think that it is important for a parent to try and create a very safe environment for a child. I think one of the the biggest challenges and the most important thing you do as a parent is create a safe place. Fears come about from feeling unsafe. You know, we get scared if we don't feel we're on solid ground, and I think one of the key aspects of being a parent is to create an environment where they feel safe and relaxed, so they don't feel fearful. And when they do, you deal with it in such a way that relaxes them, and they feel confident. And I think certainly when my kids were young, it felt that seemed to be one of the most important things a parent can give to a child is a feeling of security and safety, so that their attacks of fear are less and less intense.
Pues Luisa es una mujer con una vida complicada, que fue maltratada por un hombre y vive un accidente que le marca para siempre, y el hecho de ocultar ese hecho tan importante pues hace que, bueno, condiciona la relación con su hijo, condiciona su carácter y además es algo que se va transmitiendo de generación en generación, ¿no? Creo que se basa en el miedo que siente, el terror que siente, la culpa, y lo que eso genera, también la falta de comunicación en sus relaciones con su hijo, y la distancia y el daño que ha generado por ocultar un hecho tan importante. Como una mentira en un momento determinado se puede convertir en algo enorme, y como eso puede empezar a crear una distancia enorme, ¿no?, en una relación. Y ha sido interesante de hacer también, porque eran secuencias donde había donde a los personajes les pasaban muchas cosas, y había una escena por debajo de otra escena, y había que lidiar con varias emociones a la vez. Y estaba esa cosa delicada de querer calmar, tranquilizar a un niño para que se duerma, y a la vez, bueno, pues ahí está yo creo que la clave de la película y el motor por el que se ha hecho esta película.